The lady alien soldier was fired while the human soldier was talking to the princess. In the palace of an alien kingdom, one human soldier was posted as a guard. But a simple conversation with the princess sparked jealousy, betrayal, and disgrace. This is the story of how a human's restraint changed everything. In alien palaces, power was fragile. Armies marched at the command of nobles, but behind every crown, whispers and daggers determined who lived and who fell. When humanity entered the galactic stage, they thought us naive. Soldiers without noble blood, warriors without magic, tools to be bought and discarded. But one night, a single human soldier proved how dangerous we could be, not with weapons, but with words. Sergeant David Hale had been posted to the Royal Guard of House Seraph, an honor no other human had ever received. Most aliens considered him an ornament, a curiosity in armor. One evening, in the marble gardens of the palace, he found himself speaking with Princess Elira. "You are different from the others," she said, her silver eyes reflecting starlight. "You do not bow, yet you do not defy." "Why?" David smiled faintly. "Because respect isn't the same as fear. Among my people, loyalty is earned, not demanded." The princess tilted her head. No alien had ever spoken so plainly to her. For the first time in her life, someone treated her not as a crown, but as a person. What neither of them noticed was that someone else was listening. Among the princess's guards stood Captain Lyrienne, a decorated alien soldier, famed for her skill with a blade. She had served Elira since childhood. But watching the human speak so casually with the princess, something twisted in her chest. Jealousy. Fear. She saw not a soldier in conversation, but a rival, someone who might steal the princess's trust, her influence, her place at her side. When the whispers reached the court, she seized the chance. In the great hall, before nobles and advisors, Captain Lyrienne spoke. "This human dishonors our house. He corrupts the princess with dangerous ideas, treasonous ideas. He must be dismissed before his poison spreads." Murmurs rippled through the chamber. Many nodded, others narrowed their eyes at the human, always skeptical of his presence. The princess rose to defend him, but her father, King Seraph, raised a hand. "The human will remain. But you, Lyrienne, you have overstepped your station. To speak such accusations without proof is dishonor. You are relieved of command." The hall gasped. The captain's face blanched. Dismissed, fired, in disgrace. Later, as the hall emptied, David found Lyrienne standing alone, stripped of her insignia, her eyes burning with rage and humiliation. "This is your doing," she spat. "You wormed your way into her trust. You made me look a fool." David shook his head. "I didn't ask for this. You lost your post because you tried to tear me down, not because of me." Her hand twitched toward her blade, then stopped. She turned and stormed away. The princess approached quietly. "You didn't defend yourself." "Why?" David exhaled. "Because truth defends itself. If I'm worth keeping here, your father will see it. If not, nothing I say matters." Elira's gaze lingered on him. She had never heard such simplicity in a world of endless lies. But Lyrienne was not finished. Humiliated, stripped of her position, she found new masters, nobles who despised the human presence in the court. "If the king will not remove him," they whispered, "then we will. And if the princess favors him, she, too, is compromised." It was not jealousy anymore. It was a conspiracy. That night, as David walked the moonlit gardens again, he heard a sound behind him, the whisper of steel. He turned just as a blade slashed from the shadows. Lyrienne lunged, her face twisted with fury. "You've stolen everything from me." The fight was swift. She was faster, stronger, and trained in alien martial arts. But David was human, unpredictable, resilient. He turned her strength against her, disarmed her, and pinned her to the ground. Before he could speak, a voice rang out. Enough. Princess Elira stood at the garden's edge, flanked by guards. She had seen everything. Dragged before the court once more, Lyrienne was condemned, not for losing her post, but for betrayal, for drawing steel against a comrade. The king's voice was cold. You sought to destroy him, and in doing so, revealed yourself. Your service ends in exile. Lyrienne's glare burned into David as she was taken away. But in the silence that followed, the court looked differently at the human soldier. Not as a curiosity, not as a tool. As someone who had faced betrayal and violence, and chosen restraint. Later, in the gardens, Elira approached him once more. You could have killed her, she said softly. I didn't need to, David replied. Killing her would prove her right, that humans are dangerous, corrupting. Sparing her proved her wrong. The princess smiled faintly. You are dangerous, David. Not because of violence, but because you show us a different way. He shrugged. Where I come from, we call that being human. And so, in a palace where betrayal was as common as breath, a human soldier changed everything, not with power, not with weapons, but with a choice. The alien captain had been fired, undone by her jealousy. The human remained, not because of force, but because of trust. In time, the princess would remember that night as the moment she learned that humanity's greatest weapon was not steel, nor fire, but integrity. She thought him a rival. She struck at him in rage. But the human showed the court something greater than strength, he showed restraint. And in doing so, earned the princess's trust. What did you think of this tale? Share your thoughts below, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more HFY stories. Until next time, remember, sometimes, the quietest choices echo the loudest.